Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Rocket Sports. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, GCW Homecoming Day 1 review. Last night, Fight TV Plus. Today at 4 o'clock is Homecoming Day 2, is Impact Wrestling Impact Wrestling Multiverse of Matches 2 with New Japan Pro Wrestling. And then the JCW show, I believe, starts at noon. The NASCAR Go Bowling at the Glen starts at 2. Holy cow, lots going on. Probably some reviews tomorrow for some of this, but definitely going to watch everything that I can over the next couple days, get the reviews up. We're going to go ahead and run over day 1 here. Overall, really good show. They're back at the Showboat in Atlantic City, New Jersey. I didn't care for the room they were in, the normal room. It's kind of a little more colorful, a little more kind of what I'm used to when it comes to the Showboat. This is kind of this generic, like warehouse space almost. So hopefully they get back to the normal ballroom, but we'll see. Overall, yeah, that's the home of GCW there in Atlantic City, so we got to go with it. All right, first match we had Maki Death Kill, Itoh and Nick Gage going up against Deathmatch Royalty, which they are not, or the Deathmatch Busters, coming out in a Ghostbusters theme outfits. It said Deathmatch Busters on the back of it, coming out in the Ghostbusters music with the Ghostbusters car. We had Mack, Cardona, and Steph. Mack Cardona's not a deathmatch god. I'm sorry, he's not. He won one deathmatch, but he needs to go away. He's annoying. Anyway, so this is supposed to be a deathmatch. Itoh and Nick Gage, obviously together on this faction, Maki Death Kill gang. I love when the cutest one in the world says to the deathmatch guy, "Where's my motherfucking gang at?" It's awesome. Of course, Mack Cardona and Steph. They said it's going to be a sports entertainment match at the beginning. Excuse me, what? Not GCW, sorry. Wrong company, Mr. Cardona. And I guess the future Mrs. Cardona, but she's in WWE. The hot messes, whatever. But yeah, this match, it turned to a death match because Mack Cardona stepped to Lander, low blow Nick Gage, and then Cardona took the tube from Gage and hit Gage with him. So we had a little bit of tube usage, but it was just kind of, it was there. It wasn't what I was expecting. This whole feud's been going on. I was fully expecting a pure death match here. Really didn't get what I wanted. Maki Death Kill, Itoh, Nick Gage got the victory. I ended up giving it 2 3/4. Next up, we had a couple of the young'uns, Lucha Libre, the Northeast Ace, Alec Price versus Leon Slater. Leon Slater's out of the UK. These two tore it down. Won a match. 18-year-old Leon Slater. How old is Mr. Alec Price? 24-year-old Alec Price. Leon Slater out of Bradford, England, UK. And Alec Price out of Boston, Massachusetts. Sorry, horrible accent, I know, right? But no, this is a hell of a match. 10 minutes long. Just two Lucha Libre guys just going at it. Leon Slater getting the victory. I ended up giving it 3 3/4. I really, really enjoyed it. Next up, we had a 6-person intergender tag match. We had Thrussy, Alec, Katch, Sheik, and Effy going up against Crazy King and Los Macizos, which is Ciclope and Miedo Extremo. Overall, this match was okay. Didn't do a lot for me entertainment wise. Just there basically. It wasn't anything that Los Macizos normally does. Crazy King did some crazy stuff off the top row, but other than that, it was just kind of there. It was only like 9 minutes, less than 10 minutes long. Ended up giving it 2 1/2. We went back to the Lucha Libre style there with the return of Tony Deppen. He's been out with injury. He's the gatekeeper put up against GCW veteran Alec, Zayne. Just a match. I've seen better matches of both these guys. Nothing really comes to mind in this match. It's like, just a match. What I would call a TV style match, kind of. But Tony Deppen getting the victory there, and then giving it 3-star. Next up, we had the double dog collar match. Yeah, you heard me right, double dog collar. Now, for those of you who saw the Briscoes versus FTR double dot collar. This wasn't that. This was Parrow and Charles Mason going up against Joey Janela and Sawyer Rack. For the name from there. It's been a long feud here with Charles Mason and his mercenary Parrow attacking different people, friends of Effy, Alec, Dark Sheik, Sawyer Rack, and then Joey Janela. Bad boy Joey Janela. They choked him out at the last show with a chain, so they made the double dog collar match. So as the referees put the dog collars on Janela and Sawyer Rack, you had Mason across from Parrow, or Mason was across from Sawyer Rack. Parrow was across from Joey Janela. They ended up flipping. So you had Parrow attached to Sawyer Rack and Charles Mason attached to Joey Janela, if I remember correctly. Maybe it was the other way around. But anyway, so you had these four fighting throughout the arena. You had them fighting in the ring, outside the ring, trying to hang one another in the ring. You had the chain being used. You had weapons being used, tubes, etc. It was a true bloody dog collar match. Then you had Janela and Sawyer Rack fight over to the side. There just happened to be one of those lift things sitting there. It was up, mind you. So they brought it down. Sawyer Rack gets in it, fighting with Parrow. And then, of course, the announcers made a joke there wasn't enough room in this for Parrow. And then you had Joey Janela get in it. And then they start lifting it up. Mind you, Parrow and Charles Mason, dog collar attached to the chain, outside, as this thing is going up. They're literally trying to hang them. Of course, they both pass out. You have the referee call the match. Joey Janela, Sawyer Rack win. It was a blood feud that needed an end like this, which I don't think is going to end. I think Charles Mason is going to do something. This will probably end up being like a steel cage somewhere, or electrified steel cage, or something like that. But it was just a dog collar death match that you almost saw two people get hung. They've given it 3.5. Of course, they clean all that up. That follows up with a 7-way Scramble match. GCW is so fun. It goes from a death match to a Scramble match to Lucha Libre back to death matches. And the announcers actually were talking about, which I didn't know, some of the different areas that they go to, the country and the world, you can't do a true death match. You have to tone it down. Which I noticed that sometimes some of these matches are toned down. I'm like, it's kind of weird. I want a true death match. Atlantic City will let you do these true death matches with the glass and everything. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. So we cleaned that up from the double dog color match. Then we went to a 7-way Scramble. It's a Scramble match. Of course, you have to have Jimmy Lloyd in Scramble or death match. Either or you pick. We had Arez. We had Cole Radrick, the Ratty Daddy, the King of Rat Shit Mountain. I call him the Prince of Death Matches because he can death match with the best of them. Versus the returning Dante Leon. He's been over at Pro Wrestling Noah. Gringo Loco, one of the great Lucha Libre stars. Komander, we've seen him on AEW doing his rope jumps and stuff. Ninja Mack returning. So it was a homecoming for a lot of people. And we had really, really good 7-way Scramble match here. We had Komander doing his typical, something. Each of these guys have their own little movesets they do. And each of them basically hit their big moves. Komander walking down the ropes, leaping off. Ninja Mack doing his flips off the rope, out of the ring. Gringo doing some of the high flying. Jimmy Lloyd didn't do a lot of high flying, but he does a lot of power stuff, catches them and slams them. Arez is just crazy as hell. So you kind of had everyone basically taking 10 minutes, going out and doing their moves, jumping around. End up getting the victory for Jimmy Lloyd. Jimmy Lloyd ended up pinning Arez, if I remember correctly. Ended up giving that match 3.5. And then we had the GCW Ultraviolent Championship on the line. Champion Rina Yamashita versus Takahashi Suzuki. Oh my goodness. True death match. We had bundles of tubes. We had the glass. We had the barbed wire on tables. We had multiple of those. This is one of those matches you just sit back and went, all right, how bloody is it going to get? When I rate a match like this, I look at, okay, are we just sitting here hitting each other with tubes? That's whatever. If we're using the weapons, the tubes, the glass, and stuff, as a move, basically. So you go out and you brawl, you hit him with tubes, there's glass everywhere, then you do a move that having the glass on the broken glass on the canvas enhances the move you just done. Okay, you do a springboard with a bunch of tubes to lay out your opponent. Yeah, there you go. These two just took it down. I mean, this was glass, tubes everywhere, glass everywhere, moveset everywhere. Rina Yamashita ended up getting the victory. I ended up giving it 3 3/4. Next up, we had the King of Freedom's world title on the line in a death match. King of Freedoms is an independent company in Japan that does death matches, kind of like GCW. It's kind of their version of GCW. Their champion, Tora Sazora, going up against John Wayne Murdoch, the Duke. I follow different deathmatch companies. There's one called ICW No Holds Barred. It's on Independent Wrestling TV. And John Wayne Murdoch does a lot of stuff there as well. That was the kind of the deathmatch scene. GCW is kind of the mixture of, yes, we do death matches, but yes, we do normal matches. This match was just as good as the other one. Having John Wayne Murdoch lose in the death match, he doesn't happen very often. Ended up giving it 3 3/4 star. Just glass and tubes everywhere. They must get a discount when they buy this many tubes, because we went through a bunch of tubes, a bunch of barbed wire, a bunch of glass panes. Just painted glass up in the corners. Then we had the return of Nate Webb. He's back. He came back for the homecoming. Him and have to come out, kind of introduce himself to the crowd again. And then we had Masha Slimovich, who wasn't doing anything, come out. She's got a match against Blake Christian at night 2. A little tune-up match for her. Nate Webb, Masha Slimovich, impromptu matchup. Masha getting the victory there. Ended up giving it 2 3/4. And then we had our main event. Valento Jack versus Matt Tremont in a death match. This is one of those death matches, that's like the other two we had, that you just sit back and go, wow. When you do clotheslines with bundles of tubes, when you have a piece of glass that you put between 2 tables, and Valento Jack put Tremont through the glass face first, and he gets up from it. And then you end up just annihilating him with bundles of tubes and the glass in the corners and doors of barbed wire doors. If you have a door covered in barbed wire, you basically get thrown out of the ring through it. And you're laying there just like twitching because you're all tied up in barbed wire. And then with all this tubes getting busted, all the glass in the ring, you do moves on top of that. Especially, for big guys like this, doing kind of the high flying stuff off the top rope, big moves, and then you end up tapping out your opponent in glass, and you have him twisted somehow with his blood coming out of his head. It looks like his head's getting ready to pop, and the bulldozer Matt Tremont taps out after 17-minute death match. Yeah, I went 4-star on that one. That was pretty damn epic, to be honest with you. But yeah, overall, good show. Typical GCW good shows. Obviously, finding out that there's certain areas of the country you can do different styles of death matches, which I didn't realize that. I thought they were all going to be the same. That kind of makes these matches a little more special. If you are new to GCW, every show in 2023 has been reviewed right here. Right before we did Backyard Wrestling 5, July 4th weekend, I have the best of the first half of the year for GCW. And then on January 1, I will have the best of 2023. I do what's called a showcase of my independents. Basically, I process 31 independent companies. I watch all their shows. I do the best ofs. The first one will always be GCW. So yeah, I do from GCW to New Japan, WWE, Impact, all of it, AEW, etc. Next weekend's going to be a big weekend. We got Red Pro Show next weekend with Will Ospreay and Shingo Takagi. Then we have All In with Will Ospreay and Chris Jericho. So lots of wrestling coming up over the next couple weeks. A lot of NASCAR videos, etc. So yeah, make sure you check them all out. This is GCW Homecoming in Night 1 review. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show, and don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.